If I have to shut it off, I will. I don't think that's too bad. We'll go with it. Alright, I'm gonna get some music going. Hey guys, welcome in. So we are cutting out 1-inch cherry. And we're making some sharks. So we're cutting out these sharks. Yeah, so this is 4/4 inch cherry, so it's a true inch. I'm using a number 11 blade, and I'm taking my time, trying not to burn the heck out of it. A little burning is going to be inevitable with cherry, especially this thick. I have a total of 10 of these to make. I believe this is number 3. So this wood I bought, it was 5/4 inch, and it was rough sawn. So I planed it, and then I did one pass on the drum sander. And then when these are done being cut out, I'm going to send them through one more time, just to clean up all the laser engraving gunkiness, I guess would be the way to say it. Hey Allie, how's it going? Welcome in. So I started cutting one out on my bandsaw, and the surface finish was so horrible. Hello, Caroline. So I'm thinking this is going to be the last batch of these I'm cutting out on the scroll saw. I think these would be much better suited. This is cherry. So on Monday, I should be getting the rest of my CNC machine, so I think these would be much better cut out on the CNC. But for today, cherry tree, yes. Yep. The sawdust actually has a little bit of a sweet smell to it. So these eventually will be lazy cates, which you use with a spinning wheel to ply with. So there'll be pegs that stick out of this and will sit at like a 45-degree angle. I mean, you could also, you know, if I didn't do that, you could use this for like a charcuterie board, I guess. Well, I've got plenty of stuff to cut out on the scroll saw, so... Alright, so I'm going to make the corner, I'm going to back out, cut out, then we can see how bad the burning is. So, at this speed, taking our time, pretty much zero burning. This is what we're looking for. And like I said, this is a number 11 blade. It's a double skip tooth blade that I got when I got these blades when I purchased a scroll saw like 20 years ago. So I have no idea who made these blades. I don't use them very often, but you know, they kind of save my butt. I mean, if I'd use like a number 7 blade, half of it would be burnt. See if I have a piece of scrap. So like that would be pretty typical. You know, the top's okay, the bottom's quite burnt. Yeah, if I would have cut this out on the bandsaw, I'd be spending my life sanding it. I do have a spindle sander, but yeah. I'll hit the sides with a flap sander, and I ease over the edges a little bit so there's no sharp corners. So cutting it out is going to take a while, but you know, the lack of sanding really will pay for itself. So when I laser engraved the shark, I made a cutting line, and then you could see it, right? Where I'm cutting. So you can see how it's much lighter than the other lines. So... Oh, Tay, how's it going? Hey, G, welcome in. So my cutting line is just very light. If I used the same power, if I got off the line a little bit, it would have burnt down probably about, you know, at least an 1/8 inch, and then I would have a chunk I would need to sand, so... So I got a wholesale order for these yesterday, and I didn't have the wood, so I had to run to the mill, and then I had to machine it. So I machined and sanded it so that this morning I could do the laser engraving early without being too loud, because I do have upstairs neighbors. You know, technically, you know, I am renting a commercial space. I could make noise at 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. if I wanted to. But I try to be a good guy. So the reason it is 4/4 inch thick is because there's going to be pegs that stick out of this. So I need to have the width so the pegs will sit in there. If I use 3/4 inch material, it wouldn't be thick enough, and the pegs would want to fall out. JJ, how's it going? Hey Mario, welcome in. Yeah, this is very much watching paint dry, but it's all right. Peg for what? These are going to be nitty knotty, so bobbins from spinning wheels are going to sit in these. So it's like a dispenser, so you have 3 bobbins in here, so you can make a 3-ply yarn in your spinning wheel. So I cut steel rods to go in there. And then I have I designed a holder for the pins. It's 3D printed from TPU and screwed on the back. This is going to be my last batch doing it this way. I think the back I'm going to pocket out on the CNC machine so I can inset everything. Seems like the saw could be more sharp. So what we're doing is we're running it slow so we're not burning the wood. Cherry just wants to burn if you look at it wrong. So we're asking a lot out of this. A bandsaw would probably be a better choice if I had a decent blade for it. Yep. So, hello, Mohammed. How many do you have to cut out? I have another, let's see, 6 including this one. What do they cost? Well, these are, I make these for a yarn shop. So my cost on them is right, it's at 40, and I think they're selling for 70, which seems a little crazy. I get it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time that goes into these. So as far as the material cost goes, you know, the wood itself, each piece of wood here is approximately $8. You know, and then the metal is, you know, probably $2-3, and then there's, you know, sandpaper blades and stain and time and yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of steps. There was a lot of hands that touched this before me. You know, it's kiln dried. Dino, Hino, how's it going? Hey Dean, welcome in. And you know, I'm lucky enough where I live about, I don't know, 40 minutes away from a nice mill. So if you buy stuff directly from the mill, it's usually about, I don't know, half the price as if you went to like a big box store or like you know, any specialty store. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. You have a CNC router? I do too, except where it's brand new, and I don't have my spindle's coming on Monday. So right now I have I have this. So I'm gonna wait for the spindle to come and before I build a bench for it and get everything tied down. So how am I reading and avoiding cutting my fingers off? Well, I cannot cut my fingers off on a scroll saw. I could you know, give myself a nice band-aid cut, but they're relatively safe. And as far as reading goes, I have a monitor there. You have a 1 foot by 6 foot? Nice. Mine is a 2 by 4. So yeah, that's a Shapeoko 5 Pro. It is made and designed and in the United States. It's actually made in Illinois. So after I ordered it, it came in 2 days. So I've had to wait a week for the spindle to come from California. So we'll see. Do I enjoy the smell of wood? Absolutely. And, you know, cherry smells nice. So. You live in India? Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm in America. I'm in Wisconsin. Also, wood particles, when aerated, can be highly flammable. Yes, they can. Same with grain. Doing this, I will not have a concentration high enough where I have to worry about that. I'm not on Instagram. Nope, I don't have WhatsApp either. Well, you could follow me here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this channel going. I've been doing it for a while now, but my day job kind of sucks a lot of time out. Technically, this is my day job here. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, have a good one. You have a good night too. Hello, center border, Lisa. Hey, welcome. So we're cutting out some sharks today? There we go. I'm surprised that blade lasted this long. These blades are at least... probably at least 15 to 20 years old, so... And I don't know how old they were when I bought the saw that they came with. So I'm not very disappointed if they break. So yeah, 4/4 inch thick wood is kind of pushing it for a scroll saw. It can do it, but it's not happy about it. Hey, Carl. And also, hello, my friend. I can't read Cyrillic, so I'll just say hello. So, hello, Carl, Yasir, hello, Akbar, Dale, welcome in. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, Johnny. It is a shark. Now that Shark Week's over, it's time to make some sharks. So yeah, so I laser engraved the shark on here, and then I did a quick pass with a very, very light line. I'll take your word for it. Hello, N. Welcome in. So I have a very light line to cut. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, so this is a scroll saw, so it's a reciprocating blade. So it will cut you. It'll give you a band-aid cut, but as far as cutting your finger off on this thing, it's really not an option. It would take a long time to do it. This is cherry. I like cherry. It's a very pretty wood, and when it ages, it deepens in color and gets a very, very nice patina to it. Hello, Venezuela. Hello, Mickey. Mohammed, thank you so much. Yeah, you know, it's still amazing, you know, that how far technology has come in my lifetime. You know, I'm 50, so I was born in 1975. And the thought of you being able to, you know, live stream, you know, all over the world for free is just kind of it's a little crazy to me, you know? Hello, Carmen. You know, I started scroll sawing when I was 12, so it was 1987. So if I wanted to learn patterns and things, I had to get books from the library. And then it was a small library, so I would have to wait a week for the books to get delivered to the library. Yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah, so this is a scroll saw. So it's basically just a motorized fret saw or coping saw. Hello! Hey Caesar, how's it going? So there we go. And so we're taking our time, so there's a little discoloration here. That's just part of the wood, and you can see where I stopped. So when I'm done here, I will do a quick once-over on a spindle sander, just to clean it up a little bit, and then I'll take I'll run it through the drum sander to get rid of any kind of shadowing from the laser engraver, and then do a flap sander around the edges to round everything over. Yeah. Another shark cut out. Hey K-Nut, how's it going? So when I bought the rough lumber, I knew I was making this, so when I went to the mill, I measured the boards to make sure they were wide enough. So I did no finishing, so I have rough edges on both ends. Because, yeah, I knew it was going to be like this. Yeah. Once it gets sanded, it's gonna look better. It's just by cutting it out on this, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of sanding to do. I know it's like watching paint dry. Yeah, I'm good. How often do I have to change the blade? I'm probably going to change it after this one. A good rule of thumb is about 15 minutes if you're cutting hard. These blades are very old. I have no idea how old they are. They came with a saw I bought. I bought a used saw a long time ago, like between 15 and 20 years ago. So these blades are a little bit on the brittle side. So let's see. Hey, Robert. Hey guys, welcome in. Alright, so the question is, the saw is once used or is it needs and repair afterwards? No, this saw is fine. It doesn't need repair. These little blades we're going to replace after this one. Hello, Aziz. Twisted, how's it going? Welcome in. Hello, Sharab. Darrow. Yep. That is also an option. In what country can you do that without safety? India? I'm in Wisconsin. I'm in America. What's not safe? Now, let's be honest. If I was in India, I would be more than likely this would be on the ground, and I would be sitting on the ground with it. Have my hands ever slipped from being sweaty? No. I'm not saying anything negative about India, but in their culture, they do a lot of sitting down, and it's amazing. Okay? It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, these blades you cannot sharpen, you just replace them. They're not overly expensive. I mean, for the nice ones, they're like around $5 a dozen. Yep. Yeah. It's just the way it is. But the most important thing, Muhammad, you guys get shit done. That's the most important thing. The end product is always quality. What do I do with these cutouts? The inside here, these are going to be lazy Kates eventually for holding bobbins for spinning wheels. It isn't $100 a blade. No. Yeah, so this is kind of pushing the limits of the machine a little bit. It's really better suited for much thinner stock. But you get such a nice finish doing it this way. Alright, Muhammad, get some sleep. You stay safe too, my friend. Oh, yes. Hello. Oh, sorry about that. Hey gamer, how's it going? Welcome in. We are cutting very, very thick cherry on a scroll saw today. A bandsaw would be a better option, except for my bandsaw, the edge. The quality of the cut is just garbage. We're cutting this out. You know, it is pretty smooth. Yes, a bandsaw would be a better option with a smaller blade. I just don't have it on me, so we're doing it this way. It takes more time, but it gives you a nicer finish. My bandsaw just hates me. I'm going to make the corner. I'm going to back out. There we go. Yeah. So now we can take this off. And yeah, we're not getting any burning. We're getting a little discoloration there. But yeah, this is going to go on the spindle sander when we're done. So. Now I could cut this, I could turn the saw up. I could make it go faster, but then that would increase the chances of it burning. So I only have a total of 10 of these to make. And this is the last time I'm doing it this way. Hey, Song, how's it going? Hey, Petro, how's it going? And I missed Jose. Hello. And, is it Madi? Hello. Welcome in, my friends. Hello, Rosemary. How are we doing today? And let's see, Donald, hey, Nick. I'm being told this is called wood. I would agree with that. To be more specific, this is cherry. Hello, C. Carnell, how's it going? So this wood is 4/4 inch. So it's a true inch thick. This saw doesn't have a lot of vibration to it. And gloves are really not a good idea around machinery. Hey Art, welcome in. Hello, Junior. Sorry, I only speak English. Yesterday, your scroll saw blade bent and you don't have any extras? Oh, that sucks. You should get some. Hey, Amit, how's it going? Well, I'm right with you, Bill. I sure hope I cut myself. That would be amazing. Yeah, this is a decent saw. I guess it's like watching NASCAR, huh? Yeah. I don't know. I don't usually tell strangers, oh, I hope you get hit by a bus. That'd be great. You know, whatever floats your boat, you know? So, there you go. That's one bad hat, Harry. Yeah, I have all 10 fingers. I got all 10 toes. So, I think I'm doing all right. Hello, Darvin, and 313, welcome in. There we go. Hey, Claudie. Grace? There you go. Yeah, there's going to be definitely some sanding here, but the most important part, we're not burning. Burning is your enemy. Makes it just harder to... makes it harder to finish. So yeah, like this is a number 11 blade. This blade is pretty huge. It is a, if I can get it in focus here, a double skip tooth. So, it'll have, I'm trying to see if you can see it. So there's 2 teeth, then a gap where there'd be 2 teeth, and then 2 teeth, and then a gap, and then 2 teeth and a gap. So the gap in there, it's called gullets. So by having those 2 teeth and that hole there, that hole gives the sawdust a place to go, and it helps expel the sawdust. So this blade is less likely to burn than a blade that had just normal teeth all the way down. So these are old blades. You can see how brittle they are. You know, blades should have a temper to them where they don't snap like this. So these blades don't have a good temper on them. They're going to be prone to breaking. Yeah. Nothing to worry about. So now we have to make sure we put the blade in with the teeth facing down. Yeah, this is a 21-inch Pegasus. I do a lot of scroll sawing. I'm a production scroll sawer. So yeah, I'm on this saw lots of hours a day. When I make videos, here, let me bring my camera up here. Yep, so this is my production machine. And then when I make videos, I've got a bower in the corner here. So when I do beginner videos or intermediate kind of videos, yeah, I use that saw because if you're just starting out, you don't want to look at somebody with an expensive scroll saw and be like, well, no wonder the projects are working. It's because you've got a nice machine, and all I have is this, less expensive machine. So yeah, I'm just going to use a Minwax stain, so already prepared stain. So for these, I just use a golden pecan, so it's very light. Is this saw made in the U.S.? No. These are made in the U.S. This saw is made in Taiwan. There are no commercially made scroll saws like this in the U.S. So the company Pegasus, I believe, is from Switzerland. So this company makes scroll saw blades. And then they have saws made by a different company, which is pretty typical. This Taiwanese company makes a whole bunch of high-end scroll saws. The chucks on these chucks here are Pegasus chucks. Other brands have different style chucks. You can actually buy these to replace other saws with these better chucks. So. Hello, welcome in. Oh yeah, steel wool and vinegar. Yeah, that works. You can also take, is it alcohol and old vinyl records? Hello, my name is Scott. I am from America. I'm in Wisconsin. Oh yeah, you gotta love the smell of sawdust. And this is cherry, so it does smell really good. So we're just looking, making sure we're not burning. Finish looks okay. And there's gonna be very limited sanding. It's very smooth. Hello, welcome in. So when we're done with this one, we have 3 more to go. So remember, stay in school, kids. Otherwise, you're gonna end up cutting out wooden sharks on your day off. Oh, really? Ice cream does sound good. Yeah, this saw here, this Pegasus, it's right around $1,000. You can get, you know, the Bauer that he used for videos is like 250. So there's much less expensive saws in this. This is just like a workhorse. What's wrong with that? I have no idea. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Em. To Chody? Chody? Hello. Why not use some sort of CNC machine? Well, let's come over here. So, that's the main reason. That's what's preventing me from using a CNC machine. The fact that I don't have a, yeah. Kind of hard to use it if I don't have a spindle on it. But the spindle's coming Monday. But I have to have these done by Wednesday, so I don't think I'm gonna get a spindle for a brand new CNC machine and expect me to dump things out without getting to learn how to use it. I do. Let's see here. I have no idea how much it would cost to get one from in Bangladesh. I mean, there's probably a different brand name that you could get. Let's see here. Hello, Uzbekistan. I'm doing good. How are you, bro? Whenever I see bro at the end of a sentence, I think it's Indonesian. They like to say bro a lot. What's up, bro? You're from El Salvador? El Salvador? Very nice. What's that?
Horse.
Huh?
Horse.
Horse? Yes.
We don't do hair.
Yeah. Very nice people, and you love the culture. You tried horse for the first time? Hey, Ian, how's it going? Yeah, we were just talking about horse. That we don't eat horse in America because we pump them full of so many chemicals, so many drugs that they're inedible. Well, in France, they, eat raw horse. They do a tartare with horse meat. So. So if you're just joining us, we are cutting out some sharks out of 4/4-inch cherry. We're cutting them out on the scroll saw because my bandsaw sucks. And we're taking our time because cherry likes to burn. Oh, I love escargot. Yeah, there's a restaurant by us that does escargot in mushroom caps with some breadcrumbs and butter, and melted butter. Oh, it's so good. You bought yourself an MBI survival style multi-tool? Awesome. Yeah, it's so creamy and buttery and salty and snaily. Yes, let's learn about MVI survival style multi-tools. So it's like a Leatherman. So I don't have a huge multi-tool. I've got this little cheesy one that I take to shows because it has a little needle nose pliers on it, and sometimes when I'm at a festival I have to adjust some stuff, and I need a little tool like this. It's just very basic. It's got one blade to it, but I don't know. It's small. It fits in my pocket. I don't have to worry about it. How many sharks have I got finished? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. So I got 3 more to go after this. Yeah, it's kind of a greenish gold. It's an inexpensive thing. It's just something I needed, rather than running around with a pair of needle nose pliers in my pocket. Well, there you go. Oh yeah, I do have a line. Let me back it up. So if you look, there is a very faint line right there. It's hard to see on the camera. So I made a cutting line, but I didn't make it very deep. So if I go off the line, it's not into the wood. If I would use it as the same as these lines, I would have an 1/8 inch burn mark in the wood. If I got off the line a little this way, it just sits on top. Yeah, it's really, 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 really light. Yeah, so this is just, patience. It has 2 flashlights, nice. A pair of scissors and a can opener. Phillips and flathead, screwdrivers, a carabiner and Musmo pliers, wire cutters, and knife. Nice. So I'm not sure what brand blade this is. It's at least 20 years old. It's a double skip tooth number 11 blade. And they're very old and they're very brittle. That's not bad. As long as you got it on you, if it can get you out of a predicament, MacGyver would have been happy to have that. How do you get into this? Well, I've got a lot of introduction videos, very beginner scroll saw videos about the saws and how to use them. I would start there. I mean, you can get, a used saw on, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever, rummage sales, for pretty cheap to start with. Yeah, having a flashlight on you, it comes in handy. And you can save the batteries on your cell phone. Well, that's what happens when you smoke RTV. Let's see. Do you have any other hobbies, skills like smelting, pottery, electronics, things like that? I do some laser engraving. Obviously, I do 3D printing as well. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I'm kind of boring. Actually, this is my day job right now. This is what I do for a living. Yeah, these are just like a bizarre order I just got, and I need to get them up by Wednesday, so that's why I'm working on these. I was planning on making a scroll saw video, making some sort of project, but I was going to do a Halloween-themed kind of wood cutting, but the day job got in the way, so... So I did purchase a CNC machine to help out make things like this. I just don't have all the pieces yet. Yeah, you know, if you want to double click the screen, that'd be awesome. I usually don't do directives or beg, but, you know, once in a while it's alright. Hey, Tiffany. Sorry I missed it. As of right now, I haven't done any 3D printing or laser engraving on the channel. I do plan on it. So right now, besides getting this order that I got to get done, we have 3 festivals this year yet. So I'm kind of building inventory for those. So I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to making videos. But this winter, when things settle down, I plan on getting a lot more out. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, Art World, how's it going? Thank you for the sub, much appreciated. Hey Brennan, how's it going? Welcome in. So, if we look, we got a little burning there. A little burning here as well. Yeah, a little here and there. So, we'll probably swap this blade out for another one, just to be on the safe side. Like I said, these are going to go on the spindle sander and then a flap sander after it, so it's not the end of the world. And this top surface here, I'm going to send through a drum sander, just barely touching it just to get rid of this overcasting. When you laser engrave stuff, when it vaporizes the material, some of it gets stuck to the wood. So, yeah. Yeah, this is a very safe tool. You could cut yourself, then you'll have to go get a Band-Aid. So this has a reciprocating blade. Like a bandsaw? Oh, absolutely. You can cut your finger off in a second. But the blade's only traveling in one direction, so you have teeth constantly cutting. Where this, it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. So, I like to say that the scroll saw is the safest saw. Do you like wire saw? I'm really not familiar with them. Do you use CO2 or diode lasers to engrave? This one is actually on a diode. It's on an X-Tool S1. I do have a 40 watt CO2 laser as well, a full spectrum hobby series laser. The big downfall for that is when I moved here, I don't have a freezer and I don't have a cooler for it. So right now it's too hot in my shop to use the CO2 laser. And then I also have an F1. I've got the small galvo. So, yeah, bandsaws will do that. Scroll saws won't. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got all my fingers and toes. So, yeah. So it's a 40-watt diode, and you know, this whole job was like 5 minutes. Oh, actually, uses a metal wire cable for mechanical cutting and bolt solid materials, stone, wood, grit. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. So yeah, this one I ran through the drum sander, so you can see it gets rid of all this weird casting and makes the lines much more crisp. So with the drum sander, I'm barely touching it. I'm just... You want to see me do a guitar? I don't think a humbucker would fit in here. Well, maybe there. I have a ukulele build coming up, but it's just buying a kit and putting a kit together. I just wanted to like laser engrave the whole top of it, do something silly. It's going to be a wall hanger. Hello, how's it going? Is it Augusto? Welcome in. Actually, once I get the CNC machine up and running and dialed in, actually guitar would be kind of cool. Being able to machine the fretboard and not have to sit there with the fret saw, that'd be nice. So Dean Guitar Company, they make a acoustic Flying V ukulele. And, you know, they got the classic, you know, Dean headstock. So it would be, it looks like, you know, if you bought it, you'd be like Dimebag Darrell, you know, just on a ukulele. So if you guys are new to the stream, we're cutting out sharks out of 4/4 inch cherry. Eventually these are going to be lazy cates, which hold bobbins for spinning wheels. So you're able to take 3 different yarns and then ply them together to make a thicker yarn. But, you know, as it is, you know, you could use this for like a charcuterie board or a small cutting board, whatever. It could be a charcuterie board. Waka waka waka. Hello. Hey, Jose. Newsret? Probably saying that wrong, but hello. Hey, Bonnie, how's it going? Welcome in. So we are definitely using our patience today. We're cutting out very thick wood on a scroll saw. So the offcuts, the scrap on here, I'm gonna probably eventually cut into little animal shapes. Hello, Jimmy from Sylvania. How's it going? Yeah, don't we all? Speaking of which, did you see the new episode of South Park? Oh boy. This machine is called a scroll saw. So scroll saws really shine using 3/4 inch material or thinner. This is thicker. And it's also cherry, so it wants to burn, so we're taking our time. I'm more concerned about the finish than I am the time it takes. I've got 2 more to cut out after this. And I don't think I'm going to punish you guys with sanding unless that's something you want to see. Hey, Eric. Hello, Doctor. Hey, B. Welcome in. So this is something I don't make every day. This is actually a wholesale order, so So I'm going to make my corner here, so we have a nice transition. I'm going to back up and then exit. So the reason for that is so I can remove the piece of wood we just cut. Now if we're looking at it, there is a little burning here, but other than that, it's not too bad. A little bit there too. So from here, it's going to go onto a spindle sander, and we're going to just smooth it out. And then we'll sand the top. Yeah, once this is done and sanded and has finish on it, they look nice. I mean, as long as you're looking for a large shark lazy Kate, yeah, it's going to be good. I don't have a finished one to show you guys. So these are a newer item for me, and it's not really prototyping, but it's in a transition. The next time I make these, it's going to be a totally different process, and we're not going to be using this saw. So let's see. When you use my squirrel saw, you break a lot of blades. Any advice setting, tensioning the blade? Well, the biggest thing is you have to let the saw do the work. You know, you can see how slow I'm going right now. I could force it and go a lot faster, but that would increase burning, and it would be bad on the blades. If you're breaking a ton of blades, they might have a bad temper to them. Your blades might be bad. Got any blades here? Yeah, so your blade should be able to bend, right? It will snap, you know, if you put enough tension on it, it will snap, but you see how far that had to bend before it did? So if your blades are brittle, this blade here is very brittle, it's very old. It's another reason I'm taking my time with it. But yeah, I'm using a number 11 blade, which is a pretty thick, aggressive blade. But this wood is also very thick. And this blade is a double skip tooth. So it's got 2 teeth and then a gap, and then 2 teeth and a gap. So the gaps are called gullets, and it gives a place for the sawdust to go to. Yeah. After this, after I'm finished cutting on this one out, I'm almost done. I'm going to replace this blade, and I'll show you how quickly it breaks. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Shark. So yeah, these blades are very old, and they snap really, really, really easy. That's really not what you want. But I'm very glad I have these 20-some-year-old blades. They're coming in handy today. So it's like the one time the hoarder finally has something to use. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, that's about right. But in the scheme of things, it's not that long. But it sure feels like a long time sitting here. So we got 2 more, so it should be less than a half an hour. Do I make a lot of money for this project, for your project? All right, so I think so. I mean, I charge $40 for this as a wholesale, and you know it's going to cost me probably about $13 in materials and time. So yeah, it's all right. So since you started to do moderation on now 8 YouTube channels, you came across so many people saying weird and forbidden things without them being sorry. So if you need one, I'll gladly help you. Yeah, I've got my computer running. I got my mouse right here. So I'm good for now. Thank you. You know, you got to look where your blade is breaking to. If it's like breaking in the center, you know, it might be brittle, or you might be putting side pressure on when you're feeding it in. If you're pushing the blade to the side when you're turning, if you're not going straight with the blade, that can add some torque to it, and that could also help it. Yeah, the guy that wanted me to cut my finger off. Yeah, that's not a horrible thing. Yeah, I tend to put them on timeouts. Yeah. Yeah, if you start throwing around racial slurs, you're out of here. I mean, it's that easy. I let a bunch of stuff slide. You build RC boats? Pretty cool. Yep. Yeah, I appreciate that. So a good rule of thumb is when you're cutting steadily, especially when you're cutting something thick like this, if you get about 15 minutes out of your blade, it's time to change it. If you don't change the blade, it's going to eventually end up breaking, but more than likely it's going to start burning and giving a less than ideal cut. Hey Todd. Yeah, thanks. I've got 2 more to go. I got this one and 1 more. Which I don't know, it's pretty exciting. Hey Brad, how's it going? So my main goal is obviously not to burn the wood, but when I'm cutting things out, I'm trying to be able to remove material. The heavier the wood is, the harder it is to control. So when I get to the top of the fin here, I am going to remove this piece to make it lighter. So yeah, this is actually, you could make something of this and hang it on the wall. This is actually going to be a lazy Kate for a spinning wheel. So there will be a a 45-degree angle in the back, and there will be a rod, so it'll sit at an angle, and then there will be rods sticking out where you would put bobbins in, and then there will be felt pads sitting next to them to slow down the bobbins. So yeah, these are going to be for people who use spinning wheels. Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely check out the channel. There's a bunch of craft stuff. I do design a lot of the projects, and I share them for free. So if you go through the thumbnails and see something you like, you know, it's just kind of weird stuff like a capybara key rack. You know, it's just, to the right person, they're going to want a capybara key rack. And a bunch of holiday stuff, Easter stuff. Yeah, it's all fun. Yeah, this is from a cherry tree. Yep, so this wood is cherry. Do I teach people how to use power tools? I have some very beginner videos about how to use the saw, yeah. You can only make straight or crooked lines with the bandsaw. Yeah, the scroll saw is really good at cutting angled lines. A lot of it is just being comfortable and kind of... You always have to look at where you're going to be cutting, and you kind of steer, you know, towards what you're doing. You know, you're not looking exactly where you're cutting, you're looking at where you're going. When you drive a car, you don't stick your head out and stare directly down at the road. You look ahead. You do the same thing here. And it's just all about being, you know, mindful of the lines. And if it starts going off the line, you gently guide it back onto the line. Now, I know it's hard to see on the video, but I am cutting a line. There is a line that I'm following. It's just a very, very light line. The last time I made these, I used the same settings for all the lines. So the line that I was cutting was actually going into the wood about 1/8 of an inch. So if I got off the line a little bit, you could see the laser, how it burnt the wood. It's motor. It's a motor driven. So this little hose here, there's a little bellows underneath here, and when the blade goes up and down, it hits that bellows, and it just makes a little tuft of air to help blow the sawdust away from where you're cutting. If you hear air, it's because I have a box fan pointed at me. So we do not have air conditioning in the shop. And we're having a heat wave here, a tropical heat wave. It's actually not too bad. It's 82 degrees right now. But it's very, very humid. Apparently we're blaming it on all the corn we have. Hello, welcome in. So we have one more to go after this. Hip hip. So yeah, the big thing is we're just letting the saw do the work. right. Hey, C, welcome in. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, well, you can see this one. We're starting to get a little burning on the bottom here. We can sand that off. That's not a big deal, but we're going to swap the blade out. Hey, Dustin. Yeah, I've been using this type of saw since 1987. So these blades are very old, and they are very, very, very brittle. So I'm surprised that we are not breaking them. You were born in 1987. There you go. I could be your big brother. So this one actually has some right there. That's actually called cat paw. It's just a bunch of branches we're going to be growing there. Yeah, so my day job, I make fiber tools. So I make things for textiles. Lots of drop spindles. It's pretty much, well, my business is Snyder Spindles. I make a lot of spindles. So let me pull up a picture of what they look like when they're done. So Dustin, how you doing? Yeah, I'm just scrolling through Reddit. Somebody posted a picture of one a couple days ago. Like, ooh, people have been. So so I made that. Of course, now it's going to be like way, way down. Getting closer. There. So that's what it looks like when it's done. So it has those pegs sticking out. And then I make those little sharks too. Let's see. Yeah. So then you take your bobbins and you set your bobbins in there, and then you're able to pull out the yarn to ply it together to make it thicker. So that's what we're making. This is the Ferrari connecting. Okay, we're live. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, this saw is nice. It's I cut professionally, so I need something that's gonna last. I was just burning up DeWalt and Delta saws like every few years. Yep, have a good one, Dustin. Yeah, cutting this thick of material on this saw is an adventure, we'll put it that way. A very, very slow, boring adventure. Hey, not a problem. Have a good day, Bonnie. Hello. How's Sears doing? Yeah, so these are a commission. Susan's Fiber Shop had an idea. They wanted these made. She told me about what she wanted, and then I designed it. Got her approval. So the sharks are going to be for her. I'm going to be making some other animals. I'm going to be doing like a cat lying down. Maybe a sheep, something. We'll figure it out. Otherwise, you could drill a bunch of holes and make a cribbage board out of this. You could be sharked. So my left hand that you can see here, it's just pushing down, and then my left hand I'm actually pushing it forward into the blade. So you can't see my hand, but I'm back on the tail pushing it. But the good news is, so let's see, Dixon asks, how often do you have to change the blade? Usually when you're cutting, if you're cutting something like thick like this, like every 15 minutes would be a good idea. I'm trying to get, about 2 out of it before I change it. But yeah, the last few I've changed the blade every one. It's just, this is really, really thick for this saw. And I'm just trying to prevent burning as much as possible. So something thick like this would be better cut on a bandsaw, but that would leave a worse edge. Or cut out on a CNC machine. I just bought a CNC machine, but I don't have all the parts yet. So this order came in, and I'm kind of like, if they would have waited like 2 weeks, I would have made this on a CNC rather than cut it out by hand, but I'm not complaining. I mean, it's been 2 hours, I'm just about done, so. This is actually a number 11 blade. It's a double skip tooth blade, which does help clear out the sawdust to help it not burn. Hey Dan, how's it going? Yep, so this piece of wood is 4/4 inches thick. So a true 1 inch thick. Which is confusing. 1 inch lumber is actually 3/4 of an inch. So this is an extra 1/4 inch thick. So I went to the mill yesterday. I bought this. It was a 5/4 inch rough sawn cherry. So I planed it down, sanded it. Normally I let the mill do a lot of the planing and sanding just because it makes such a mess. But they've been charging me like way too much money for machining, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save myself $50 and do it myself. I started out in a very small workshop. It was like 10 feet by 10 feet. So then it made sense to pay them for machining because the amount of time it took for me to move things around and actually get the equipment out and use it. Just didn't make sense. There we go. So we now have 10 sharks. Hey Al, how's it going? Welcome in. I am just gonna clean up a little bit, then we're gonna go in the other room and get the drum sander going. I am also gonna use the restroom, but that won't take very long. So, I'll be right back. Yeah, it's almost gone. They punched it diet, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. All right. What's that? I'm so used to diet. Yeah, I would have thought that it would have tasted like it wasn't diet, but. Think it's diet?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Even with the water in it.
Yeah. So, the person at Taco Bell is trying to kill me. I ordered a diet soda and they did not give me a diet soda. And I am diabetic, so my blood sugar is kind of not good. You know, it's hard to tell because the new, the zero stuff tastes very similar to real soda. All right, we're gonna get the sander out. There we go. Hopefully this will work. So I'm not going to be able to hear you guys, but we'll get that going, run those through. I'll be right back. I got all of them cut out. I did. Uh-huh. What's fun? Cutting out. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick sanding operation real quick. All right, so this is a drum sander. It's gonna get loud, guys. I'm sorry. And then we're just gonna send these through. You can see how it's kind of dark. So I have to blow it off yet, but now it's clear. So before, after. So we're just cleaning off the surface. So I'm just cleaning off the belt. So this is a drum sander. It just has sandpaper wrapped around a cylinder.
By the way, we're putting our stuff in here.
Okay.
So there's like a bunch in here.
So you're filling that box of fruit bars up with
Taco Bell sauce.
Taco Bell sauce.
Well, I figured.
Like normal people.
Yeah, it was a good place to start.
Just like normal. Sorry. I'm just walking outside. I look at the camera and it's pointing at your butt. That's not what I was doing. Stop staring at my girlfriend's butt. It's my job. All right, and we'll start sanding the sides here. Trying to figure out what the best view would be. It's going to be loud as well.
Remember what we were going to order? That we were getting low on? That we were talking about that earlier today. We're like, hey, we should run the order more. Oh, the hose.
Yeah, 2.5-inch hose.
Hose.
Yeah,
Have we ordered before?
No.
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 Package.
A hose for seed seed, yes.
Okay.
I did a search for it. Just let me know when you pull up. I need like 20 feet.
Okay.
All right. Alright, so this one's not too bad, but you can see there's some lines in here. But we don't have a lot of birding, so I'm using this size right now, and then I'll go to a smaller size to get in the corners a little bit better. Alright, you can see how bad that burning is on this one. Same with this one. Quite a bit of burning on the outside. Hey Aaron, how's it going? Cindy, how's it going? All right, so we're gonna switch over. Hey P, how's it going? We're gonna put in a smaller spindle in here. Did you find it, honey?
Did I find what?
The hose.
Huh?
Are we gonna look at that hose when I'm done sanding here?
Oh, yeah. I found several. I put them all in the cart.
All right.
Just kind of segregate them and then you can look at them.
Yeah, I gotta do a search and figure out that tablet.
Oh yeah, that too. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
So if I can get the sanding, this little bit of sanding done here, we can check that out. I know you don't want to be here. Oh, it's after 5 already?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Fine. All good.
Yeah, this is it's basically a big eraser, and you just use it to clean the dust off the sandpaper. Yeah, it just feels like a gummy, a rubber eraser. problem. All right. Hey Rita, how's it going? So we have I have these three I need to do there. These have definitely need some sanding. All right, so we have these 10 done. They're still finishing sanding, and I have to roll them over. I didn't realize how late it was, so I am going to end the stream now. Actually, I'm going to sand this one a little bit, and then we'll end the stream. Can't believe I missed it. All right, we'll be able to catch the rest of that up later. So I'm going to call it a stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I mean, we got stuff done today, which is amazing. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Have a great day. You know, go out there and make some stuff.